Lab-grown steaks the size of a credit card have been grown and eaten for the first time, according to an Israeli firm. Cell-cultured meat takes samples from living animals and turns them into food using scientific methods and incubation. A race is evolving among technology companies to become the first to successfully create a viable product. Previous attempts have seen mincemeat and chicken nuggets created but failed to form complex animal tissue structures, such as steaks. Biotechnology firm Aleph Farms claims to have found a way to produce slaughter-free meat, with the same texture as the authentic alternative. The technology comes at a time when a growing population of vegans, vegetarians and animal rights activists are waging an ethical war against the eating of meat. Cattle farming and agriculture accounts for vast amounts of available land, and is a leading contributor of greenhouse gases. As part of a video feature for the Wall Street Journal, Jason Bellini visited the base of the firm on the outskirts of Tel Aviv. Two incubators, named Alberto and Gertrude, are where several petri dishes are growing with cells from two cows which remain alive and well. They imitate the conditions inside a cow to produce the most accurate cells possible. A complex series of tests then produces 4 different types of animal tissue: support cells, fat cells, blood vessel cells and muscle cells. These are then combined to form a complex shape and after 3 weeks forms a fully fledged steak. Technology for the cruelty-free meat is still developing and the firm claims it would cost approximately $50 for a single piece of the thin steak. Didier Toubia, CEO of Aleph Farms, said that the taste and flavor are 60 to 70% of the way to the desired goal and product will not be available commercially for at least 2 years. In theory, we are talking you could be eating bison meat without killing bison. You could be eating whale without harming whales, says Jan Dutkovich, a researcher at Johns Hopkins University. Development of the technology has been steadily progressing, with Just Food, a San Francisco-based firm, working on using plant protein to create meat replacements. The company claims its non-chicken nuggets will be available before the end of 2018, and has today announced a partnership to develop and market a cell-cultured version of the upmarket Japanese beef Wagyu. Precious few have had the chance to experience umami Wagyu, and we hope this partnership allows more restaurants to share Toriyama beef and its story in a new, exciting way, Just co-founder and CEO Josh Tetrick said in a statement. The meat industry is one of the most dominant sectors in the world and requires an enormous amount of resources. Scientists from Oxford University and the Swiss Agricultural Research Institute, Agriscope, published a paper earlier this year which examined 40,000 farms and 1,600 processors, packaging types, and retailers in 119 countries. The study was the most comprehensive analysis yet of the damage farming does to the planet. It also assessed how different production practices and geographies lead to different environmental impacts for 40 major foods. They found that without meat and dairy consumption, global agricultural land would be reduced by 76%. This equates to the size of the US, China, European Union and Australia combined, and there would still be enough food to feed the world. A small number of producers create much of the impact. Just 15% of beef production creates approximately 1.3 billion tons of CO2 equivalents, and uses about 950 million hectares of land. A study from a Harvard academic further compounded the impact farming has on the world. It found that if all people on Earth turned vegan, the world would be almost halfway towards meeting the lofty climate change targets set by the Paris Agreement. These targets state that global temperatures should be limited to a 1.5 degrees Celsius increase by 2030. Methane and nitrous oxide are produced in huge quantities by livestock and are significant contributors to global warming. Animal rights activists, scientists and conservationists have long petitioned for a reduction in the worldwide consumption of meat and dairy products to reduce the impact on the environment. Although it is not enough to reach climate change targets on its own, the livestock sector still has a key role to play in helping to reach the ambitious targets, scientists have urged. Previous studies suggested reducing meat and dairy consumption also provides a range of added benefits, such as preserving biodiversity and improving human health. The current livestock population in the world is around 28 billion animals, and constitutes the highest source of 2 major greenhouse gases, methane and nitrous oxide. The production of methane in particular is troublesome, as it has an 85 times greater global warming potential than carbon dioxide over a 20-year time frame. Methane emissions from the livestock sector are projected to rise by 60% by 2030. Getting protein from vegetables, grains or meat alternatives instead of animals would drastically reduce the risk of failing to reach temperature goals, researchers have said.